correct.
To overwhelming our hospital system and possibly tens of thousands of additional deaths by exposing everyone to the virus today just because a lab that can't currently be eliminated. I spent decades in business. I know about this virus and how easily it spreads in a crowd. Large conventions, festivals, and other major events will be on hold until we reach phase 5. I spent decades in business, so I understand the urge to try and flip the switch and reopen our entire economy. Here's the problem. That switch simply does not exist with a virus that can't currently be eliminated by medical science. And I won't open the door to overwhelming our hospital system and possibly tens of thousands of additional deaths by exposing everyone to the virus today just because a loud but tiny minority by medical science. So I understand the urge to try and flip the switch and reopen our entire economy. Here's the problem. That switch brings me no joy to say this, but based on operations is with a vaccine or a widely available and highly effective treatment, or with the elimination of any new cases. 5, Illinois restored, with all the sectors of the economy running with completely normal operations, is with a vaccine, or a widely available and highly effective treatment, or with the elimination of any new cases over a sustained period of time.
Oh, perfect timing. There's the brown line.
Right on time. Oh, it's cruising too, man.
How's it going?
Have you ever noticed it goes faster when it's going south than when it's going north?
Yeah.
Did
I
you
have
actually
noticed
notice that?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
I thought it was
Interesting.
the reefer.
No.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Wait, you're smoking pot again? Is that what you're telling us right now?
Well, I got up really early today, and I pulled a Dennis. I got up, chopped wood, smoked a joint, went fishing. All right?
Haven't chopped wood or fished in a while. Live stream chat, can you hear us? I know you guys were hearing just music there, but can you hear us now? How's it going? Pat Rod, I asked for a song of the day, so let's see. How about, okay. Okay, I like that. All right, yeah, we have a song of the day for the day, so let's go ahead and get the show started.
Oh, no.
Your Ben Joravsky show for Wednesday, May 6th. Is just moments away. But before we do this, let's thank the following unions for sponsoring this program. Unions like the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, Local 126 and District 8.
That's correct.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 9.
That's correct.
The International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150.
That's correct.
And of course, today's Ben Joravsky show is brought to you by our good friends at the Chicago Federation of Labor. Benny J, your song of the day for Wednesday, May 6th is Well, no, you got a request.
Oh, should I do the song I was thinking of, or should I do the request?
Nope, that's over. The live stream requests a song and you sing it.
What if I don't know it?
That's even better.
Okay. All right, here we go.
I think you will know this one, though.
I don't know.
Pat Rod says, well, first off, he's doing well. He didn't join us live yesterday. Pat Rod, thanks for joining us. He says, how about Our House with the Cats in the Yard song?
Oh, that song?
Yeah.
That's, what's the name of that group? Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
You know it.
One of Dennis's favorite groups.
How'd you know that?
No, seriously, have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A request. Oh, well, I usually don't do requests. Ding, ding, ding. But I'm tuning my guitar right now.
Well, you say you usually don't do requests, but the bit is you now do requests.
No, this is me talking to the audience. But ding, ding. I love this crowd. Ding, ding. Love playing here. Jing, jing, jing. That's me still tuning the guitar. Ding, jing, jing. A house is a very, very, very fine house. Fine house with two cats in the corner. Meow.
The Ben Joravsky Show starts now. It is Wednesday, May 6th, and live from Ben's house, this is the Ben Joravsky Show. Today on the program, legendary Chicago journalist, Monroe Anderson. And now your host, Chicago Reader columnist Ben Joravsky.
Hello, everybody. Ben Joravsky here. We're calling this Mourning in America Wednesday, and here's why. That's mourning spelled M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, as in we're mourning. Mourning in America, as in the name of an advertisement that some Republicans, anti-Trump Republicans, released yesterday that has got Trump going ballistic. Ballistic. Okay? Monroe Anderson and I were talking about this a little while ago. Monroe's right. Anderson's fired up to talk about it. Listen, I think it's so appropriate that I talk about Mourning in America ad because Republicans who hate Trump are trying to show Democrats how you run a campaign. And you know this is one of my favorite themes, folks. The difference between Democrats and Republicans and the way they go about politics. Republicans play the game to win. Democrats play the game so they have a career afterwards on Wall Street. So they don't want to offend anybody. I'm going to take care of myself when I leave office. Republicans play to win. Democrats play to get a career on Wall Street. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. But now you got a group of Republicans who cannot stand Donald Trump, and so they're playing the game to win. It's like, I kind of find it refreshing. Mourning in America, that's the name of the ad that they came out with. We're going to be talking about that a lot with Monroe. He's fired, because you know what? Monroe Anderson's a Gary boy, Gary, Indiana. He plays the game to win. And he gets a lot of our Democratic mainstream types get a little upset when Monroe comes on talking trash. I think we should be more respectful, more partisan, less partisan, more bipartisan, nonpartisan. Come on, Democrats! So sick of losing my beloved Democratic Party. Biggest bunch of wimps I've ever seen. Anyway, let me talk about Republicans. I wanted to call this segment Jerk Off Republicans.
Hey.
But Dennis...
Can you not do that? Good Lord.
Okay, let me just tell you something about my beloved partner. This young man got his training in AM radio. And in AM radio, you're not allowed to swear.
In radio, in general, you're not allowed to swear.
That is correct. Okay, let's just say in radio in general. And we came from a station, I can't remember the name of it, where they were like really nutty about this. Remember? Don't swear. Anyway, Trump himself said he was going to grab women by the pussy. He said that. And remember, they were like, don't say it. Didn't you remind me that we had Danny Mielopoulos on once? And he spelled out the word. He didn't even say it. He spelled out. I went out, spelled the word. He said S-H-I-T.
You're allowed to say shit. We can say shit, all right? We can. That's about as all,
You cannot say it on AM radio.
I know.
And that's the dilemma. One of the most popular shows in my life right now. No, the number one show is Schitt's Creek. How are they going to say that on AM radio, D? Huh? At the old station, how are they going to say it? That's saying S with the asterisks. Anyway, went on a tangent there. But I wanted to call him that. Dennis said, no, don't call him that.
Yeah, that's.
So how about jerky Republicans? Is that better?
You already named it. It's Morning in America.
I know it. I'm just thinking about how to. I was thinking about it because you threw that curveball at me. I like it. I like taking requests from the listeners.
That's awesome. I like that bit. That's good. Way to go, Pat Rod.
Shows off my amazing range as a great singer.
Oh, it doesn't do that, but it just makes for good content.
But I was going to sing Cool Jerk. You know that song?
Oh, no.
Cool Jerk. Come on, people, Cool Jerk. I love that song. I think it's by the Capitals. Don't quote me on that one, anyone. All right.
I like our song of the day better today. That was better. Our House. That was
Our
good.
House. Yeah, okay, but I like Cool Jerk too. Anyway, let's get focused, Ben. Focus. What I wanted to talk about: Republicans playing the game. They don't mess around. Man, this story on the front page of the New York Times. I got to give Elizabeth Williamson and Rebecca Ruiz credit. Fast rise for McConnell protege to cusp of a powerful judgeship. Talking about this young judge. He's 37-year-old Judge Justin Walker from U.S. District Court in Western.
Judge Justin Walker.
I know. It does sound like a country singer, doesn't it? Oh God, Judge.
You don't want that guy being your judge.
Judge Justin Walker.
Hang 'em high, Judge. Unless, of course, the defendant is Donald John Trump, and then in which case, hey, come on.
Judge Justin Justice Walker.
Judge Justice Walker. Judge Justin Walker. He is from Kentucky. He is a protege of Mitch McConnell. His mom is a friend with Mitch McConnell. So it's not curious, I should say, that McConnell would nominate him to fill this vacancy. Before we get to this, let's just talk about the interesting distinctions one more time in judicial nominees as portrayed by Mr. McConnell, Senator McConnell, Mitch McConnell. As you recall, Barack Obama, when he was president of the United States, had a vacancy to fill. What was it, about the end of year 2015? Almost a year ahead of the election of 2016. Scalia died, and there was a vacancy, and Barack Obama nominated Merrick Garland. Love talking about this story. Merrick Garland. This is how Barack Obama viewed the world. He goes, well, let me see. The Republicans hold a majority in the Senate. They control the whole process. I know what I'll do. I'll name a middle-aged, middle-of-the-road, moderate, white male judge. No Republican could object because he is nonpartisan. That's right. They'll play the game by the rules. If I elect a judge that's kind of in the middle of things, they'll come over just a little bit from the right to meet me halfway because that's how we play the game when it's fair. Man, Mitch McConnell looked at him like he was crazy and said, fair? There is no fair.
Oh, there's no fair. There's no fair.
That's how he would say it.
There's no fair.
Say it, I play to win.
I play to win.
You play to run around and lose weight.
You play to run around and lose weight.
That's McConnell's attitude.
I know the players in the game, Benny.
That is not Mitch McConnell. It's an old guest on the show, and we'll let it go at that. I know the players in the game. Anyway, so Mitch McConnell, of course, as you all know, denied Merrick Garland even a hearing. Wouldn't even allow him to come before the Senate. He said that it was so close to the presidential election that he wanted the American people to decide. Remember that? He wanted the American people to decide who got to be the next nominee, the next Supreme Court justice, because, of course, whoever got elected would nominate a candidate. All right, so fast forward, here we are. There's a vacancy on this all-important D.C. court. And is Mitch McConnell waiting until November's election? No. He is nominating, is pushing to the front this 37-year-old man. Let's see, what's his name again, D? Judge Justin Walker. Judge Justin Walker is no moderate. He's no middle-of-the-roader. This is in no way an attempt to placate the Democrats, to show that Mitch McConnell is thinking of someone that Democrats can accept, someone whose judicial outlook would be, at the very least, nonpartisan. This guy is an ideologue. This guy is a Republican, essentially a Republican operative. His hero is Brett Kavanaugh. And let's just take a look. There's some of these quotes from when Judge Walker was sworn in at the U.S. District Court for Western District of Kentucky in Louisville. Here are some of his quotes. First of all, he thanked his mom. I've got to hand it to you, Mom. It's been extremely important to me that Kentucky's senior senator is Mitch McConnell. His mother is a friend of Mitch McConnell, so a little nepotism there. Then he turned to Justice Kavanaugh, who was swearing him in, as he addressed the justice's liberal opponents. Quote, "What can I say that I haven't already said on Fox News?" said Judge Walker, who gave 119 interviews to the news media and several speeches paid for by the Federal Society rebutting Kavanaugh's critics. Quote, "In Brett Kavanaugh's America, we will not surrender while you wage war on our work or our cause or our hope or our dream." Waging war. This guy sees himself as a soldier in Donald Trump's army. So much for the notion that justice is blind, so much for the notion that justice is without bias. This guy is clearly a team player on the Trump team. He closed with a broadside, this goes back to when he was sworn in, against the American Bar Association, which had given him a rare, not qualified rating for his absence of courtroom work. Hold on, got to go to the next page. Bear with me. It's a newspaper, D. There we go.
You seen that newspaper, listener?
Yes, in the old days they could see the newspaper, but we'll be back. We'll be back. Right, D? Although we are...
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't... You're right.
Maybe? I don't
He
know.
could be in this attic forever. Locked in the attic. Locked up, can't get no... Sorry, anyway. Although we are winning, we have not won. Although we celebrate today, we cannot take for granted tomorrow, or we will lose our courts and our country to critics who call us terrifying and who describe us as deplorables. So he's still fighting the 2016 election. Deplorables. That was Hillary Clinton's great contribution to the election. Remember that one, D?
You know, there's a basket of them.
Yeah, the deplorables. Anyway, this is a little funny aside in the paper. You know, everybody wants to be poor.
Really?
Not
That's
really.
news to me.
Not when they're in their life, but they want to come from humble, poor origins. You ever notice that, D? Like nobody, like people like they won't say they grew up, let's say, in, I don't know, I'll pick any suburb that come, Naperville. You ask them where they're from, they go, "Oh, I'm from Chicago." "Oh, really?"
Right.
"Yeah, what high school did you go to?" "Oh, I went to Naperville High." "Well, wait, that's not Chicago." "Well, it was the tough side of Naperville." I once had a guy tell me, "I came from the tough side of Wilmette." I'm like, what? What's the tough side of Wilmette?
You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Tough side.
It's the west side of Wilmette. On the other side of the Edens.
I heard they don't wear bike helmets on that side of Wilmette. They're nasty.
Yeah, that's the non-bike. I know, that's like the distinction in some places. You know, it's sort of, like, you know what? Kids who don't wear bike helmets grow up to be adults who don't wear masks. Ever think about that, D? In the middle of a pandemic. Masks. That's for wimps. I can beat them. That's just you can't even see that little virus. It can't mess with me. Come on. I'll beat that virus up.
I heard on that other side of Wilmette, they smoke cigarettes.
Not reefer.
Ooh.
People who don't, kids who do not wear bike helmets grow up to people who don't wear masks. Anyway.
We are not scientists.
Judge.
We don't know that.
Which part?
That whole helmet to mask thing you just laid out.
I think it sounds pretty good. I actually think it sounds pretty good.
He's not a doctor either, guys.
Judge, a sociologist. It's a sociological observation. Did you read the story in the paper about the guy in, what was it, DeKalb, who got so mad about being asked to wear a mask that he like pulled a knife out? Did you read that
Holy
one?
cow,
Yeah,
no.
no, tough in DeKalb, man. But I will not make any kind of comment about being a deplorable. All right, D? All right, there we go.
Shout out to all our DeKalb listeners. Get us some corn. We're going to be there for Corn Fest, huh? Let's go.
For 10 trivia points, what frequent guest on the show?
Peter Jenko.
Nope.
Oh.
Neil Muhammad. We'll just leave it at that. He lives in DeKalb. All right, anyway, Judge Justin Walker. Everybody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to come from like a wealthy background. Well, Judge Justin Walker, his His maternal grandfather is a millionaire real estate developer and Kentucky transportation secretary who's one of the state's most powerful officials in the early 80s. So this dude does not come from humble origins, from a wealthy background. His parents got divorced, though, and his mother later remarried to another rich guy. But so this is his biography. This is what he says in his biography. He described his mother as, quote, a single working mom who made indescribable sacrifices I can't even talk, to provide me, what does this say? I circled this D and then I scratched it out so I can't read it. Great moments. The first in my family to graduate from college with the opportunity she didn't have herself. Are you kidding me? Her father was a millionaire, one of the most powerful men in Kentucky. Listen, I don't care that the guy's rich. There's a lot of talented rich people who would probably be great judges. I'm just saying, why do you have to pretend as though you were like Abe Lincoln living in a log cabin? You understand what I'm saying, D? What?
I feel you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you think you're rich, you're rich. You know, you didn't grow up on the west side of Chicago.
Growing up poor isn't all that it's cracked up to be, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Lack of like education and stuff. It's not great.
You don't want, most people don't want to be poor. But not me. Everybody, but once they get nominated for something, everybody's poor. Everybody's poor. Everybody had to come up in a tough surrounding. Everybody was getting beat up. You know, nobody ever said, yeah, I got it pretty easy. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I went to camp in the summer, you know. Anyway, so a tough guy, this guy. Judge Justin Walker. Tough upbringing he had, D. All right? Wasn't easy. His family couldn't. He didn't wear a bike helmet. You know why? His family couldn't afford it. All right? That's why he didn't wear a bike helmet. What else about Judge Walker? Here's another quote. Judge Walker's got an interesting view of his role on the bench. It's like he's almost like a soldier in a great Christian army defending the country against infidels. There was a case that came before him recently. Had to do with the mayor of what town? Louisville, the mayor of Louisville, Kentucky.
Shout out to our Louisville listeners.
Wow, that's alliteration. Louisville.
Oh.
We actually do. Let's take a look. We do have some listeners in Kentucky.
Yeah, so don't piss them off.
Okay, I'll try hard. So the mayor of Louisville had ordered the churches closed. In the middle of the pandemic might be a good idea. I don't know. Not everybody gathering in the pews together. Maybe they should figure out a way to do it so it's not dangerous, like the people in the outhouse, just in the alley down from us.
Porta potty,
excuse me. I like to call it an outhouse. What did he say? Judge Walker cited St. Paul last month in a decision in favor of the On Fire Christian Church in Louisville, which had sued Mayor Greg Fisher over his urging faith leaders to avoid large gatherings such as the church's drive-in Easter service amid the pandemic. Quote, on Holy Thursday, an American mayor criminalized the communal celebration of Easter. Judge Walker, come on, D. I mean, let's be fair. Criminalized Easter? It wasn't like he said, you're going to go to jail for trying to celebrate Easter. He was saying at this particular moment in time, it may not be a good idea for people to gather together. And it's not like they're criminalizing. They criminalized the watching of basketball games because you know what I mean? Because they wouldn't let us go to the United Center and sit on top of each other. We're trying to figure this thing out. He's turning it into a holy crusade. This is the man that Mitch McConnell, they're holding hearings on. I think they're holding hearings today. Don't quote me on that, D.
I never do.
I
never quote you on anything.
I warn people, don't quote me, all right? I'm just, don't quote me. I think they're holding hearings today. Frank would know this. This is the man that Mitch McConnell's bringing the senators back to hold hearings on, rushing through to get the vacancy filled. A vacancy, by the way, I didn't even get into this part of the story, where there are allegations, just allegations, D, okay, that Mitch McConnell twisted the arm of the judge who retired to create the vacancy.
Oh, give me that arm.
I love his Mitch McConnell imitation, man. Do Mitch McConnell singing, got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him. Oh, isn't
Mitch
that
McConnell.
interesting? I would love to hear him say, you got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him.
Know when to walk away. Know
Yeah,
when to run.
there you go.
There you
Don't
go.
sing
Now
it,
we're
just
done. Now
sing
we're
it.
done.
By the way, I've heard Dennis sing. He's an excellent singer.
Yes, I am.
So anyway, so this is Mitch McConnell changing the rules. Back then, it was, well, let's wait and see when it was Barack Obama's vacancy to fill. Or it was, let's hold off until the November election. We have to see what the American people say about it. We have to let the American people weigh in it. And now, of course, here we are on the eve of an election that I believe the Democrats will win. And I think Mitch McConnell's feeling a little nervous about it. He himself is up for a tough re-election battle against Amy McGrath. I think he's feeling a little uncertain about things. So let's hurry up and get this 37-year-old soldier in Donald Trump's political army. Let's get him in before the Democrats have a chance to fill the vacancy themselves. Democrats out there, it's about time you learn to play the game the way the Republicans do. You want to win? You got to play to win. We got a great show today, everybody. Monroe Anderson's coming in. Man, he plays the game to win. All my Dem listeners out there, oh, no.
He knows when to hold and fold him.
He's got we got it all lined up. We got the Mourning in America ad. Dr. D here has got it ready to go. And we have Donald Trump's response to it. Can't wait. Have you heard Donald Trump's response to the Mourning in America ad, D?
No,
It's pretty
I have
funny. So we're going to break down all the news, the political news of the day with Monroe Anderson. He's all fired up, ready to come on. Before we do that, the young man from Alton, the man they call Dr. Doobie, with the news.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, did everyone listening hear our interview with First Ward Alderman Daniel Espada? If not, you should check it out. Ben, tell us a little bit about that interview with the alderman. What did you guys talk about?
That was a great interview. We had a lot of fun talking. First of all, he talked about being a rookie alderman and learning the ropes. I also we had a funny exchange as the First Ward Alderman. He is always the first person called upon to vote. So it's a nerve-wracking experience because if he votes the wrong way, then everybody who's following him will vote the wrong way. He's like, habita. So, a lot of pressure on the First Ward Alderman. You know, if you're not really paying attention, you know what I mean?
But he's a rookie going through the that Carlos Ramirez Rosa rookie training camp, right?
Yes, he is a rookie of the leftist persuasion, and as such, he turns. It's so funny that thinking of turning to Carlos Ramirez Rosa for guidance because he's so young himself. He's a millennial. Remember, he defended the chain smokers. Remember that great interview?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
God, I did not ask Daniel Espada a chain smoker question.
Oh, shucks.
I know. But he talked about life in the council with Lori Lightfoot and dealing with the mayor on that issue of giving her emergency powers. I thought he was pretty restrained in his
I just
comments.
picture like some alderman boot camp led by Carlos Rosa. There's like tires on the ground. All right, go! 3 more! Let's go! He's got his rookie alderman in there.
I know, and it's funny because, again, is Carlos 30 yet? He's so young.
I think he's 30.
Oh, you made it to 30?
I hope. I
think
don't want to
he's-
just sit here and guess his age. I don't know if that...
No, I think he is 30. But if he is 30, he's barely 30. I mean, to me, he's a baby, all right? And he's very young. But you're right. He's the hardened vet, right? This is his second term, so he's telling Daniel Espada, "This is how you do it, kid. Follow me." And, I remember Carlos was on the show.
Sick Joe, give me 20 push-ups. Let's go!
Byron doing the push-ups. So remember when Carlos was on the show? I forget when it was, but he was talking about how he stood up to oppose some idiotic proposal that Mayor Rahm was coming forth with, but all the other aldermen were with Mayor Rahm. This is in the days when they would do anything that Mayor Rahm said. When aldermen in the city council treated Mayor Rahm the way Republicans everywhere treat Donald Trump. Whatever you say, boss. And but Carlos got up to criticize the mayor's proposal, oppose it, whatever. And the Dems, the other aldermen were like mocking him and sit down. Oh, nice suit. They were making fun of him. Oh yeah, making jokes and stuff. Daniel Espada said it's not like that anymore. They're like kind of grown up since Rahm has left the room. Everybody more respectful of different attitudes and ideas. It wasn't like the old days. It was just Carlos Ramirez Rosa alone.
Nice suit.
I know, they made fun of his suit. Oh, good suit. Looks good on you, huh? That's Rodney Dangerfield, by the way. Anyway, and we also talked a little about Proco Joe Moreno, his predecessor.
If Ben were an alderman, that's all you'd get made fun of every day is your suit.
Suit? Have you ever seen me in a suit?
Exactly.
Oh my God, if I were an alderman, we.
Oh, I remember Ben Joravsky, the first alderman to wear sweatpants at a city council meeting. I miss him.
Well, now, by the way, it's all virtual, so they're probably dressed as bad as I am right now.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Anyway, it was a good interview. And then we talked about how he went to the protest, the anti-Pritzker protesters. The MAGA hat wearers last Friday converged at the Thompson Center. Still have not heard a word from any mainstream Republican denouncing them. They were waving waving signs with the swastika and Nazi slogans. But
we haven't checked the voicemail yet. We got tons of them in the. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. All those Republicans standing up. They're so nervous. They could be saying something that Donald Trump may rip me about. So anyway, it was a good interview. A lot of fun.
Yeah, go download that, everybody. Both Chicago Sun-Times and Chicago Reader websites, and wherever else you download your favorite podcast. We do the live show, and then after the live show, we record another interview, and that's where you can go download it. So go check it out.
For 10 trivia points.
What?
Who's our other interview for today?
Hey, let's talk about what's happening in Chicago and or Illinois this afternoon, shall we? No, who is it playing for today, Ben?
It's Stacey Davis Gates, and we're doing The Last Dance. It's my weekly. Dennis allows me to talk about The Last Dance. Just basketball, just for the until this series on the Bulls ends, and then it's back to business.
For those who may not know, what is The Last Dance?
For those who may not know, The Last Dance is the ESPN doc. There's a pause there.
Yeah, I know. Don't be so shocked.
What?
It has nothing to do with dancing, guys.
It's funny. There was one time where I was explaining something that was so obvious to you. What was it? I felt compelled to explain what it was. Oh, was it
Tiger King?
Tiger King? You go,
Yeah.
Ben, you don't have to explain that. I go,
Yeah, because we were like 2 weeks behind on Tiger
I would think
King.
Last Dance falls into that category. But anyway, it's the ESPN documentary about Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan, and the great 1990s Bulls championship team. Stacey Davis Gates, of course, is one of the leaders of Chicago Teachers Union, perhaps one of the most outspoken progressive voices in the city of Chicago, one of the few people unafraid to be critical of Mayor Lori Lightfoot. And so she'll be coming on. I may get a few political.
I was going to say, for all of our non-sports fans who listen, we got to try and get a political question in there. Get these people to listen. It's Stacey Davis Gates.
I got a feeling, a little political talk. But what you may not know about Stacey Davis Gates, when she was growing up in Indiana, she was a big-time
Pacers fan.
Nope. Oh, God. Whoa, don't tell her that. She loved the
Larry
Bulls.
Bird.
Nope, was not a Larry Bird fan. She was a Bulls fan, and she played basketball. So, we've been promoting the great Stacey Davis Gates, Lori Lightfoot one-on-one tournament. Dennis said that he'll host it and do the play-by-play.
I did say that.
And so we're looking forward to when, of course, it's safe to do so. Right now, we're not encouraging people to play basketball. Right, Mayor Lightfoot, and so I can't wait for this pandemic to pass on many levels, but right at the top of the list, Stacey Davis Gates versus Lori Lightfoot. Let's go.
Stacey Davis Gates. That's going to be tonight, guys. About 7 o'clock, we're going to drop that. Go check it out. Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago Reader websites, wherever else you download your favorite podcast. Okay, let's talk about what's happening in Chicago and or Illinois this afternoon. J.B. Pritzker has a plan.
Big problems become big problems when you let small problems sit.
Oh, by the way, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, 31 years old.
That's correct.
How did you know that,
I
Frank?
looked it online, and then Frank waited.
I figure it was Frank would know.
During his Tuesday COVID-19 press briefing, our Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker announced his Restore Illinois 5-phased strategy to reopen our state as we remain under this damn stay-at-home order through the end of the month. And we're going to play all 5 phases, all right? But first, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
We will shut you down. We will cite you. And if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail.
Yeah, we discussed that yesterday, didn't we, D?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still, listen, I'm with you, Lori. Mayor Lightfoot. I'm with you 100% in the need to protect Chicagoans, and I appreciate your vigilance in that direction. I really do, D, okay? And, we tease Lori Lightfoot from time to time on this show, but I do appreciate that. But I don't know. Throwing people in jail to protect them from the virus? You're going to put them in the very place where they're most likely to catch the virus? Let's rethink this one.
Today, Mayor Lightfoot is in City Hall to discuss racial equity rapid response team and racialized outcomes of COVID-19 in the Latinx communities. Hey, Ben, have you ordered your Lori Lightfoot candle yet?
No. You caught me off guard.
There's a Lori Lightfoot candle. The following comes from Block Club Chicago and Mina Bloom. Mayor Lori Lightfoot's efforts to keep Chicagoans at home have become memes and even cardboard cutouts. You've seen them popping up in shuttered businesses. Now you can get an Our Lady of Quarantine Lori Lightfoot prayer candle.
I did not know that.
Caroline Moody. She's a tattoo artist, and she runs Copperplate Tattoo in Avondale. And KC Winter, an artist who designed and installed the giant masks adorning the Art Institute lions and the Chicago Picasso sculpture, are selling prayer candles anointing Lightfoot with the saintly title.
Oh, my God.
You like this?
Chicago loves Lori Lightfoot, man. Yeah, they do. Chicago loves Lori Lightfoot. They love their mayor. Chicagoans tend to fall in love with their mayor, D. And I'm not from Chicago, so I kind of never really understood it, this reverence that Chicagoans have for the mayor. It's one of those Chicago things that I don't quite get. But, it's a very Chicago thing. And they love Lori Lightfoot. Chicagoans do.
The candles.
God bless them.
The candle's image made by Moody shows Lightfoot holding a glowing roll of toilet paper. Don't worry, Ben. I'll show you this picture before we move on. While surrounded by Chicago's official flower, a word that I cannot pronounce, chrysanthemums.
I did not know Chicago had official flower.
Yeah, it's a very odd word.
I thought it was the reefer.
Oh.
I mean, that's what I read. That's most people I know, their favorite bud,
Well, you're my favorite bud, Ben. I love doing the show with you.
That's correct.
That's really nice, man.
The memes. Okay, we got a quote from Moody here. It says, "The memes are hilarious. So it's already been established how strongly she's encouraging us to do what we got to do to get the city healed, which I think is just great. It's humorous, so it's drawing attention that way." Moody said she's not trying to make it a political thing, but it's really neat seeing this person do what she's doing.
You know what? See, okay, I don't want to make it a political thing. That's so classic. That's like, make it a political thing. Everything's political. That's another thing about Chicago. No, it's not just Chicagoans. I'm not going to pick on Chicagoans. But you ever notice how, I'm not political you know what I mean? That's like a Dem. I'm not political, okay? Republicans buy shoes too, That's Michael Jordan's I'm not political. Why? Be political. You're political. You live in Chicago.
And thanks to programs like the Ben Joravsky Show, it's gonna be political.
It's political. You live in a country run by a madman. It's political, okay? And hey, there's decisions you have to make even within the confines of democratic Chicago. I know you love Lori Lightfoot, Chicagoans, and I know you appreciate her very much because she's telling everybody to stay at home. And particularly in the north side of Chicago, you absolutely love her. Does that mean you believe she should have extraordinary budget powers? Should she have the right to unilaterally determine over the next 2 months how millions and millions of dollars are spent? Do you love her that much? Oh, I don't know, Ben. It's so political. I'm not political. When everybody goes, don't be afraid to be political. I'm sorry.
Well, I ordered your candle. It's going to be coming soon. All right? So be ready.
People go, I'm not political. It's like the fair map people in Illinois. Can't we all just come up with a fair map?
Here's the picture of the Lori candle.
That's actually pretty cool.
You like it, huh?
Yeah, it's a
well,
very
good.
cool
I
candle.
ordered you one. So.
The artist who made it may not be political, but she's a very talented artist. I'm not political. I have to. Please don't ask me. That's like the equivalent of the people who say, Ben, don't ask me. Fill in the blank. The most whatever the controversial story is in America at the moment, Dave, which everybody's talking about. Oh, Ben, don't ask me about that. Usually it's Dems going, Ben, don't ask me about Tara Reid. Don't ask me about that.
Moody said about Lori Lightfoot, she's a woman of color in our city making shit happen. The candles.
Wait, whoa, hold it.
Can we just plow through?
Whoa. Did they write it out?
No.
Oh.
They did S in a space.
Ah, for crying. Which paper is this?
Block Club.
Black Club. So my question to Black Club is, how do you write Schitt's Creek? Just saying.
Well, they put a CH. In the spelling, it's fine. It's the pronunciation.
Oh, you're right. Good point by Dr. D.
The candles cost $20.
And they put a second T on there.
Yeah, and they put a second T.
Oh, that'll really fool everyone.
The candles cost $20, and they're available for pre-order on Moody's.
$20?
$20.
How much do candles go for these days? I don't know.
About $20, I guess. $15, $20. I mean,
When was the last time you bought a candle?
me, I bought one at Family Dollar for like $5.50.
Wait a minute. Family Dollar. Why are they charging $5.50? It should be $1.
No, that's... Boy, we are going down so many weird holes here today on the show. No, that's like the Dollar Tree. That has like everything $1. Family Dollar isn't. They sell things that are beyond $1.
I went to the dollar store and I bought a great T-shirt for $1. This is pre-COVID days, D.
Oh, let's move on from this story. Let's get to Governor J.B. Pritzker.
I like the candle story. I just want to clarify one thing. The candle is beautiful, so I want to give credit to the artist for the candle.
Yeah, it's a very nice candle.
The whole thing of the wishy-washy political thing, come on. You can't beat Trump if you're wishy-washy. All right, let's move on.
And what's the scent of the candle? I don't know. We'll find out when it comes in the mail. I got Ben one. Okay.
I thought you got me that reefer candle.
No.
That reefer scented candle. That's my favorite scent in a candle.
Let's talk about Governor J.B. Pritzker. You know, say what you want about Jeremy Bojangles Pritzker. Back in March, he did...
J. Robert. I remember, right, Frank?
J. Robert. That's right. Say what you want about him, but he did not let the COVID-19 pandemic problem sit here in Illinois. Here we are, damn near 2 months later, and on Tuesday, the governor announced his slow and steady strategy. It's the Restore Illinois 5-phased plan.
Let's begin with phase one.
Okay, actually, JB, I'm going to cut you off right there.
Okay.
Real quick, Restore Illinois is a data-driven plan that operates on a region-by-region basis. This is a recognition that reality on the ground looks different in different areas of our state.
Are you quoting JB there?
That was, I believe so, yeah. He said something around that.
All right. See, that's his way of telling people in Pritzker protesting territories in this state. How about that, D, the way I, very euphemistically phrased that. Yeah, well, did I tell you went to radio school? That's his way of extending an olive branch, okay? So, in other words, we shouldn't have to treat people in let's say Alton the same way we treat people in Chicago because the virus isn't as, extensive in Alton as it is in Chicago, right, D?
Right.
Isn't that the idea?
Yep.
Okay.
And Ben, good news. We're already in phase 2.
Oh, yeah, I did know. We talked about this, yes.
Yeah. According to Pritzker, Illinois began phase 2 of its reopening plan on May 1st when a modified order took effect, allowing some businesses to reopen. The earliest any location can begin entering phase 3 will be May 29th. So we really don't need to hear about phase 1. We've already been through it. Let's get right to phase 2. Governor Pritzker, take it away.
Phase 2, the phase that we entered into with the new May 1st modified stay-at-home order. Many of our phase 2 mitigations are similar to phase 1, but adjustments were made to offer flexibility where public health experts told us we could. That's where we've been and where we are. So what's next? Healthcare regions that meet certain thresholds over the next few weeks will be able to move to phase 3. At that point, with face coverings as the norm, non-essential manufacturing and other non-essential businesses can open in accordance with safety guidance. Telework, wherever possible, is strongly encouraged. Barbershops and salons can reopen. Health and fitness clubs can offer outdoor classes and one-on-one personal training, all in accordance with DPH safety guidance. The region's state parks can open. Limited childcare and summer programs can operate with DPH guidance. All public health gatherings of 10 people or fewer can take place during this phase. And I want to stress this point. Even as businesses reopen, employers should do everything in their power to provide remote accommodation for older and COVID vulnerable employees.
Makes sense. In fact, I'm going to be a typical nonpartisan.
Are you about to extend an olive branch?
Yes, Dem. Ben, you have to be fair. You read, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, a similar Donald John Trump plan for reopening America. Remember that one, D?
Oh, yeah.
You read it. I'm going to tell you something about Dennis that you may have figured out, or maybe you don't know this. He really tries to be fair. He really does, okay? He's always trying to look on the other. Ben, you got to be fair to Donald John Trump. And it'll explain, you know. You got to think about it from their perspective.
And
Donald Trump.
The listeners hate me.
So, so we read that Donald John Trump thing, and it was very similar to this one. Because by and large, I mean, this stuff makes basic sense, right, D? It's very practical. It's very pragmatic. The issue, of course, is when do you declare it safe to go to phase 3? Phase 2, remember phase 2? One of my favorite parts of phase 2? You can get in a boat, but only 2 people. Remember that one, D? We discussed that one in the show. Yeah.
All right, so we went to 2 and 3. Let's hear phase 4.
In phase 4, a region would need to see continued declines in its positivity rates and hospitalizations and maintain surge capacity. And if so, restaurants, bars, spas, cinemas, theaters, retail, and health and fitness clubs can open with new capacity limits and DPH-approved safety guidance. Schools, summer and fall programs, childcare, and higher education can open with safety guidance, and all outdoor recreation programs would be allowed. Public gatherings in phase 4 will be limited to 50 people, although this limit is subject to change up or down depending upon what the science tells us at the time. IDPH will watch the identified health metrics closely to determine when regions have attained them, so each can move from phase 2 to phases 3 and 4. And more specifically, those metrics are, first, a region must be at or under a 20% test positivity rate and increasing by no more than 10 percentage points over a 14-day period. And a region must have either not had an overall increase or must have maintained overall stability in hospital admissions for COVID-like illness in the last 28 days. And a region must maintain the availability of a surge threshold of 14% availability of ICU beds, of medical and surgery beds, and ventilators.
Can't get the words out of here how much I appreciate J.B. Pritzker. And all kidding aside, he's very measured in the way he lays out. This is me speaking. This is my view. I'm going to, in fairness, be quoting at some point somebody who disagrees with me on this. But I just like his measured response, the way he's laying this out, the guidelines, his explanation. You need to see a decline. It's very fearful about a surge back of the virus. So you think we've successfully moved on to a routine, and then all of a sudden there's people getting sick again. So he's very concerned about this. He's laying out the parameters. I respect how he does it, and I'm very grateful at this moment that he is the governor as opposed to the last governor, whose name I can't remember at the moment. So, I respect J.B. Pritzker. And by the way, he's been slammed. He's got his critics in the state. The Republicans have sent the MAGA hat crowd out last Friday with their Nazi signs. So, he's under a lot of pressure to open up the state. So I give him credit for the very measured way in which he is laying out this plan.
But wait, there's more from phase 4.
Because May 1st marked the beginning of phase 2, in which we loosened and modified a number of mitigations, that is the first day for the 14 and 28-day measurement periods to begin, meaning that the earliest that a region can move to phase 3 is May 29th. Changes to mitigation strategies in each phase will impact the data in each phase, so the assessment period begins when each new phase begins. IDPH will be tracking each of the 4 regions on these metrics and will make that data available online to you every day so that the public can track it too. Importantly, just as public health indicators will tell us when to move forward at any time, they could also signal that we need to move backward. IDPH will be tracking metrics here as well. Moving backward is honestly the last thing that anyone wants to do. But if the virus begins to attack more people or the healthcare systems are heading toward becoming overwhelmed in any region, swift action will need to be taken. We have named Phase 4 Revitalization because it is in this phase that everyone in Illinois will be rebuilding what school and work will look like for a while, until we reach the other side of this pandemic.
Man, I don't know if this pandemic's ever going to end. It's so scary. He's laying all these things out, and then he says, by the way, we have no idea if this thing is coming back. So we really don't know if we're going to ever reach stage 4. I'm laying out all these parameters, but Lord, no. In other words, he's sort of admitting that he has absolutely no idea what the future. And you know what? Who knows?
Right.
I mean, that's probably the scariest part about this whole thing. Nobody knows, except for the MAGA hatters who think right now the whole thing's made up. Maybe they're right, huh, D? I doubt it. But do you have any more tape you want to play on recording you have?
Well, of course, we got to go through Phase 5.
Right,
the only way that we can cross into Phase 5, Illinois restored, with all the sectors of the economy running with completely normal operations, is with a vaccine, or a widely available and highly effective treatment, or with the elimination of any new cases over a sustained period of time. It brings me no joy to say this, but based on what the experts tell us and everything we know about this virus and how easily it spreads in a crowd, large conventions, festivals, and other major events will be on hold until we reach Phase 5. I spent decades in business, so I understand the urge to try and flip the switch and reopen our entire economy. Here's the problem. That switch simply does not exist with a virus that can't currently be eliminated by medical science. And I won't open the door to overwhelming our hospital system and possibly tens of thousands of additional deaths by exposing everyone to the virus today just because a loud but tiny minority would like to indulge in that fantasy.
A loud but tiny minority would like to indulge in that fantasy. That is as close as to a counterpunch as he's thrown in this entire speech here, D. That, of course, is his allusion to the protesters who showed up, not just the ones who showed up at Thompson Center, but in general, the Operation Gridlock crowd, the MAGA hat-wearing crowd that's showing up at public places these days to defy the stay-at-home order, to show that they don't believe in it, to gather together, like the group in Chicago. Many of them weren't wearing masks. They just want to say that they don't believe that it's a serious crisis. It's interesting, D. They came to Chicago without masks, and they'll acknowledge that there's a serious problem in the city of Chicago, and maybe that's why Chicago needs to have these more restrictive guidelines protecting people, but they shouldn't be downstate. And yet they weren't even wearing a mask when they came to Chicago. I don't know. They got to worry about their mixed messaging. Maybe you should help them out a little bit. But that his way, a loud but tiny minority is his just euphemistic way of alluding to them. So J.B. Pritzker, he's letting people know. He knows you're out there, MAGA hat wearers.
So there it was, Phase 1 through 5 of reopening Illinois. Ben, what are your overall thoughts? You think this plan's going to work or what?
Well, I do not know when you say whether it's going to work, I don't know when we're going to get to Phase 5. I do know that J.B. Pritzker is being very cautious. Let's put it this way, from a political standpoint, he probably read Rich Miller's article that ran this Sunday in the Sun-Times, think it was Sunday in the Sun-Times, where Rich Miller was talking about the polls that show that there's widespread support for Pritzker for his stay-at-home recommendations, for his sheltering requirements, for his cautious, prudent approach to reopening the economy, despite the fact that there's some protesters outside the Thompson Center or in Springfield. Most people in the state of Illinois are with Pritzker on this. And so he's probably feeling reassured by that, D. You get what I'm saying? Like he's not feeling pressure to do the right thing in the face of people who don't want him to do it. Or he feels like he's doing the right thing, even though most people don't think it's the right thing. So when that political pressure is off, I think somehow or other, obviously it's easier to be measured the way he is. That said, when I'm listening to that, I try not to get depressed. But, my beloved, like everything, the summer is gone, festivals, concerts.
I think this is the time you finally get back into smoking pot. You got nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do. Definitely not going to do it while I'm on the show, all right?
That maybe little eventually we'll get there.
What was it, yesterday?
Never say never.
Never say never. The Kelly Cassidy interview with Me High.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, don't do this again.
KC, man. Yeah.
We're going to get you back on the horse, buddy. You got nothing else going on, all right?
Yeah.
I'll talk to my guy. He'll deliver you some, and we'll...
First of all, I don't need your guy anymore. Okay, it's legal. All right?
Get ready to pay $1 million for weed.
All right. Do you have the response from the Republicans?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you said that because, yes, a lot of people are on Team Pritzker. Go, JP! But there are those who are not. You saw this one coming, guys. The following comes from the meanest Illinois political bulldog in the yard. Capital Fax's Rich Miller. It's a bulldog. It's off the chain. Oh, my. Get that dog out of here. It says here, this is Dan Petrella at the Tribune. He says, Republican lawmakers in the Illinois House on Wednesday gave scathing reviews to Governor J.B. Pritzker's 5-phase plan to reopen the state's economy. Here's House GOP leader Jim Durkin of Western Springs. He said on one of those Zoom conferences that, quote, the plan does not work. This plan presumes that the governor shall rule the state for the upcoming months and possibly much longer if the vaccination is not available. Durkin also said that, quote, I took an oath of office to faithfully discharge my duties in the co-equal branch of government called the legislature. I did not abdicate nor relinquish my elected responsibilities to the executive branch. Durkin said, Speaker Madigan, you set the calendar. Mr. Speaker and the House Democrats, get back into the game, get your head out of the sand, and let's get back to work.
Well, I kind of agree with some of the things he says. Oh no. Here I am. I'm not just doing this just because, I want to extend the olive branch to the Republicans. But, I think the legislature should be meeting. I don't know. They say, well, it's unsafe. They don't want to convene at the General Assembly. Yeah, but the city council proved that you could with Zoom, right, D? Someone should introduce Michael Maddock into Zoom. Zoom? Let me.
I'm not doing that. Get that Zoom out of here.
I kind of, Durkin, I'll throw you a bone. Here you go. I threw you a bone. Yeah, I think they should get together. And I do think that Republicans should act as though they are, still breathing. That said, I've not seen anything resembling a responsible get back to work proposal from the Republican Party at all. They act as though it's not a serious health crisis. And Durkin, by the way, is that the full quote, D?
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah. So he in that quote, he's like, that's.
Oh, wait, there's one more quote from Durkin. Make America great again. Oh, my. Whoa. No, he didn't. I let that quote.
Yeah. You see, Durkin is the kind of Republican who should be unafraid to criticize Donald John Trump from time to time. He's from a relatively moderate district, so, he was never like the real hardcore Trumpster type, but even Durkin's afraid. I don't want to get tweeted by Donald Trump. So even he's afraid. And Durkin was the gentleman that Rich Miller kind of made fun of in his column on Sunday where he talked about he's not exactly a profile in courage, I think is what Rich Miller said about Durkin. It was a pretty good line. So, yeah, I mean, even in that quote, he won't acknowledge that it's a serious health crisis. He won't acknowledge the essential challenge that Pritzker is confronting, and that is it safe to reopen the economy? Republicans act as though it's not even an issue. It's like they're acting as though, yes, it's safe. That's what the MAGA hat wearers were saying on Friday. They showed up to say they didn't even believe that there is a serious crisis. So Republicans in Illinois are like, this is the line they're walking. They don't want to come out and say it's a crisis because they don't want to upset the MAGA hat wearers. At the same time, they don't want to look as though, they're being wimps to Pritzker. So they play this weird game where they won't come out and say that it is a crisis, but they'll criticize Pritzker's policies that are intended to protect us from the crisis. So they're in a strange position. The mainstream of the Republican Party in Illinois, they don't know which way to go because they're just going to irritate the base of the party, which has lost its freaking mind.
All right, here's my impression real quick of Mike Madigan getting approached in his office about Zoom, okay?
Here we go.
A guy walks up, hey, Madigan, we're going to do a Zoom meeting. Is that okay? And then,
Zoom? Zoom your ass out of my office. Get out of here.
Wait, that's
Zoom your ass out of here.
that's heading into your Biden imitation.
no, it's not.
Do your Biden imitation.
Hey, come on. Let's move on here. Shout out to Fernando on the live stream chat. What's happening, Fernando? Thanks for listening, and thank you for weighing in. Fernando says, talk about the governor postponing the cannabis license distribution. I got an article here. The earliest I found was 6 days ago. Ben, this is the first time we've read an article from this publication, High Times. The following comes from hightimes.com. And A.J. Harrington, this pothead no, I'm just kidding. State regulators in Illinois announced on Wednesday that they will delay awarding licenses for 75 new recreational marijuana dispensaries because of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. The Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation said that the licenses, which were scheduled to be awarded on May 1st, will be postponed until after disaster proclamations from Governor J.B. Pritzker expire or when the state sets a new date. The governor is expected to sign an executive order this week. Once again, this was 6 days ago. That will extend the state's stay-at-home order and closure of non-essential businesses through the end of May.
Yeah, we talked about this with Richard Wallace. So I urge everybody to check out that interview. That ran on, I think we dropped that one on Sunday, right, D? The bonus interview with Richard Wallace, who's all about equity and the distribution of cannabis license. I almost said reefer license. Yeah, they delayed it. And the best you could say about the delay is that it gives them more time to be a little more fair about who gets these licenses. So it's such not all rich white guys from the suburbs who wear bicycle helmets. Going back to that conversation.
That was good. Nice callback.
What can I say? Yeah, I urge everybody, if you want to get far more detail on this, check out the Richard Wallace interview. By the way, do you have any quotes from Darren Bailey? He was quoted in the Sun-Times. Remember Darren Bailey?
Oh, your boy. No. I do not have any DB quotes.
DB. Darren Bailey is now the face of the Republican Party. And Darren Bailey. See, this is where old boy Durkin is in trouble. Because Jim Durkin, he's out, I think he's in Elmhurst. He's in the DuPage County area. And I would say that a good portion of the people in Elmhurst believe in science and would believe a doctor. On the other hand, Darren Bailey comes from a community where there is not a high number of people who have the virus, so they get to pretend as though science doesn't exist, as though the virus is this myth created by the media in Chicago. As such, their worldview is that J.B. Pritzker has shut down the state to destroy the economy, to take away the issue that Donald Trump was going to run on to get reelected. That's how they view this health crisis. That's the base of the Republican Party. Darren Bailey, who nobody ever heard of until he went to court to challenge Pritzker's stay-at-home order, is now the face of the Republican Party in the state of Illinois. And while Jim Durkin's comments are more along the lines of habit, I don't know what to say because I'm going to offend somebody, so I'll just go habit, Darren Bailey just says what he thinks. So you got to give him credit, D. Here's his quote. The earth is flat. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a different quote. Sorry. Here's Darren Bailey.
How'd you get my copy of Flat Earth Weekly?
Darren Bailey. I almost did what's the old boy's name? Oh, this update. I should have.
Oh, is this a tangent within a tangent within a tangent?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was. What's the big fella? I just blanked on his name. I'm having a senior moment.
Big feller.
The insane guy that believes in all the conspiracies. I just blanked on his name. Jimmy Coogan.
Alex Jones?
Alex Jones, yeah. And Alex Jones lost his lawyer. His lawyer left him. He's in big trouble, man. We got to get Jim Coogan out there sent me the article last night. I read it. I was obsessing over that.
Ladies and gentlemen, my lawyer fell in the Bermuda Triangle. Damn, got to get a new lawyer. We'll be right back.
Serious Republicans. Alex Jones is your guy. Alex Jones and Darren Bailey will be the Republican nominees for president and vice president in the next election.
But for real though, I bet this Bailey feller runs for governor in a few years.
Yeah, why not?
This is setting him up.
He's closer to the base of the Republican Party than Durkin, who's like, habita. You know, Jim, habita, Durkin. I don't know what to say. Here we go.
There went our Jim Durkin interview, guys.
Like that was going to happen anytime soon.
Sorry, Durkin fans.
Jim Durkin was big-time supporter of one Bruce Rauner. Remember that, Bruce Rauner days? How could I forget Alex Jones's name? Usually I'm obsessing about it. Almost every day I talk to Dennis.
Now a tangent within the tangent. That was a tangent before the tangent. This is awesome.
I think the reefer's kicking in from the 1970s. Anyway, Darren Bailey, who got a Clay County court judge to free him. I love this. To free him and him alone from Pritzker's order. Free him? Like he's free. What is he free to do now? I can go bowling. No, you can't. There's no bowling alleys.
Trust me, this guy knows, all right? Ben Joravsky knows there's no bowling alley.
That's right.
He loves bowling.
I love bowling, and I'm paying a stiff price for this stay-at-home thing. I should be the one filing the lawsuit. Bailey, who got a Clay County Circuit Court judge to free him and him alone for Pritzker's order by suing the governor, said he would rather have each one of Illinois' 102 counties craft its own reopening plan rather than divide the state into 4 regions. Isn't that interesting? They're picking and choosing when they want to divide the state, right?
Well, where's Robert Marshall when you need him?
I was going to say. Well, we're going to have that.
For those listening who may not know, Robert Marshall was the fella that ran for governor in 2018, and his plan was to divide Illinois into 3, I think.
It was 3, right? Yeah. He came on the show, remember? I interviewed him.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? He had the map. And then I made some criticism. Well, we can redo it. He was ready to redo the whole map right there in my show. I got to give him credit. He was open-minded.
Yeah. I mean, he came with some ideas, right?
This pandemic plan, this work needs to go to the county level, Bailey said. These orders that he is offering, I don't care whether it's masks, whatever it is, every order that he's coming up with now is still illegal and unconstitutional. There you go. That's the Republican attitude. It's unconstitutional and illegal to ask somebody to wear a mask, to demand that somebody wear a mask to protect the public. Rumph. All right? It's like motorcycle helmets. Rumph. Seatbelts. Rumph. Liberty. They believe in liberty for everyone except for Colin Kaepernick.
Well, if you're out there riding a motorcycle without a helmet, you're an idiot.
Well, the views and opinions of
motorcycle.
But you distinguish motorcycle versus bicycle.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Absolutely.
You go pretty fast on a bike. Actually, let people know this. Dennis wears a bike helmet, okay? He wears a bike helmet. And anyway, so there we go. Bailey still thinks the governor's a tyrant and still thinks that he's gone too far and that it should be on the county level. That's his attitude. So it should be county by county. So they're going to break away and have a separate county. A Clay County will be its own state, D. And Darren Bailey can be the governor of the state of Clay County.
So there you are, everybody. The local news. Weigh in on the live stream chat. If you're listening live, feel free to weigh in and let us know what you think or your thoughts, show ideas. Tell us what you think of the new attic version of the show. Huh? Pretty rad. You can send us an email, BennyJShow@gmail.com, BENNY, the letter J, show @gmail.com. You can also do the same on Facebook and Twitter. BENNY, the letter J Show. And yes, guys, we have a phone number, the Ben Joravsky hotline. Yeah, call us up. 708 658 4788. The number again, 708 658 4788. We do have a voicemail. I'm going to listen to that before we play it. That's the new rule here on the Ben Joravsky Show, right? We're going to listen to it before we play it. So I see the voicemail that someone just sent us like minutes ago. We'll probably play that on tomorrow's program. But remember, 708-658-4788. Call the Ben Joravsky Show. All right.
Now
Ben.
the scariest part of the show.
What?
The scariest part of every live show since we moved to the attic. The scary phone call to the guest. Will it work? Will the guest answer? And I don't know if other shows are going through this, but it's a panic moment. Will it work? Clear line? Will it be muddled? This is, it always gets a little nerve-wracking in the Ben Joravsky Show when we make that call.
All right. I want to load up the song from Michael Girardi, his latest track, Bailout. So, guys, just hang with me here. There's going to be a little bit of dead air, and we'll play some Bailout, and then we'll do the interview with Monroe. You guys can't see Ben right now. Oh, he's biting his nails. He's so scared. What am I going to do?
Will it work?
Oh, my God. So I'm going to calm Ben down. I'm going to call Monroe Anderson. Bailout's coming up. It's the Ben Joravsky Show, live from Ben's attic.
Let's begin with phase one.
I'm not a doctor.
That's correct.
Ben, put that chair down. Quit moshing in here. Holy cow.
I love that song.
He likes the song.
I love that song. Every time Dennis plays, I'm like, yeah, rocking out. Because, man, there's so many great lines in there. Fat cats in the MAGA hats. I love that line.
That's an awesome song. Michael Girardi. He's always on the live stream chat. Tell Michael Girardi you like the song if you enjoy it. He's also the author, I guess you can call it, of the editorial board.
Love that song.
This dude's got the hits, man. Like I
He's
said,
got
Michael,
a lot of talent, man.
you're gonna come out of this quarantine with a full-length album, pal. Keep
Blank
it coming.
check for the autocrat.
Ben tried mosh pitting in here. He tried to get a mosh pit going. It's just me and him. Like, dude, we got a show to do. Put the chair down. It was weird. Okay, we're back here. We got Monroe Anderson on the line. Let me get it. Uh-oh. Oh, now and I got to learn to not say uh-oh around Ben. He's getting scared.
There we go. Push that little button.
There we go. Okay. Who's the producer here, pal?
Oh, sorry. Who went to radio school?
Yeah, no kidding. Monroe, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, loud and clear. Monroe Anderson. All right, Monroe. I've been promoting you all day. You ready for this? I talked about Mourning in America. We're going to play that commercial. We're going to play Donald John Trump's response to that commercial. And brings home one of my favorite themes, how Republicans fight to win. Dems don't know. I don't know what they're in the game for, because half the time they're scared and apologizing, except for you, Monroe, because you're from Gary, Indiana. You know how the game is played. I got this.
Right.
I got
from
this
the street.
From the streets of Gary, Indiana. I got this fundraising appeal from Donald John Trump himself, Monroe. Okay, I'm going to read this to you.
How much did you give him? 10,000.
He's not getting a dime from me, that's for sure. All right, Monroe, I just got this. You will appreciate this. This is a fundraising email I got from Donald John Trump.
Okay.
And it begins at the headline, "Urgent, I need your help." And here we go. "Dear fellow conservative."
I'm not a doctor.
He said, "Dear fellow conservative," like Monroe, you've known me for 1,000 years, conservative? Anyway, "I'm reaching out today because I need your help. We're in the fight of our lives to secure..."
WCPT turned you out. But
yeah, I was even too liberal for the liberal radio station. Anyway, "Dear fellow conservative, I'm reaching out today because I need your help. We're in the fight of our lives to secure 4 more years," and he's got 4 more years in big, bold letters, "of our Make America Great Again agenda. But there is more than the White House on the line this November. Our Republican Senate majority is at stake, and radical Democrats are doing whatever it takes to hijack the Senate from my good friend and conservative champion, Mitch McConnell. I am asking my strongest supporters like you, fellow conservatives, to chip in right now to make sure Mitch and I have the necessary resources to keep the Senate red." And then the first suggestion is I contribute $500. Monroe, I think the Republicans, for all the bravado that Donald Trump likes to exude and emit on his Twitter feed and in his comments, they're starting to get a little nervous. They're starting.
Oh yeah, no, they're very nervous because the Democrats have been out collecting them and contributions by a wide margin. The blue wave is building up as we speak, and this is what has them nervous. You know, Trump Trump himself gets a lot of money, but the down ticket is not getting that much money, and for a cause they have reason to be concerned.
Well, there's several reasons for this. Number one, you're right. The first one is you really got it right with that first one. Donald Trump has become the face of the Republican Party. He owns the Republican Party, and as such, he's the one who's taking the lion's share of the money. People are thinking in terms of just Donald Trump, and then you're right. Donald Trump gets very nervous. He's talking about nervous when any other Republican seems to be approaching him in terms of his stature as the all-powerful, almighty Republican. And so you're right.
Right.
He's not really. This appeal is a little unique for Donald Trump. Like he's raising money for other Republicans. You know.
Well, right. Well, mainly for Mitch, and that's because they're leaning on him. I mean, what has happened since in the past couple of months with the COVID-19 virus is that the tinted glasses, rose-tinted glasses, have been cleared, and people are seeing more clearly, and they're not liking him and the Republican Party, except for the Trump nuts, of course, which he's shooting people on Fifth Avenues across the country, and they're still going to vote for him.
Yeah.
But for the uninitiated cultists, i.e., the regular American people, they're not liking Trump. They're seeing his press conference. His coronavirus conferences every day that he put on, where out of hours and hours of speaking, he only expressed empathy or sympathy for the victims, like a collected 4.5 minutes time. The rest of the time, he was attacking his enemies and bragging about himself and what a great job he's been doing. And he's lost support along the way. That's why they're now no longer doing them. His people finally got to him and said, "You're self-destructing, dude."
Well,
and our guy Biden has just been sitting back, following the rule that when your enemy is self-imploding, don't get in the way.
Well, that is the best spin you could possibly put on the Joe Biden campaign. That is the
okay, Bernie, bro.
That is the best spin you could put on Biden. Well, he's really a wise man. He knows what he's doing, as opposed to out to lunch. But okay. That's the Monroe Anderson.
That's why I knew you needed that one. That's why I gave it to you.
Oh my God, the great!
You're my friend. That's why I tried to look out for you.
Oh yeah, try to help me out. No, we every week Monroe tries to talk me off the ledge because I've said this on the air. I've written it in my column. I do believe Joe Biden is perhaps the worst nominee the Democrats have ever come up with. Since I've been following politics. And then Monroe usually reminds me of Mike Dukakis, and I go, oh, yeah, you got a good point there. So it's, I have to back off a little bit.
Donald Trump.
No, the worst nominee the Democrats have ever put up, the Democrats, to defeat the Republicans. So, but, then he
yeah, that's right. Putin put Trump up.
Yeah, Putin put Trump up. So, and it's not just you. Many Dems are always telling me, Ben, Joe Biden is following a strategy. This is part of his plan. He's going to lay low, let Donald Trump wound himself, and then he's going to emerge stronger than ever. I'm not sure I believe that.
He's not letting Trump. He's not letting Trump. Trump is vigorously and enthusiastically wounding himself.
Yeah.
And Joe, the other problem, of course, is Joe is operating out of his basement because of the virus.
Yeah,
he's sheltering in place, and so you have the president of the United States with all the power and glory that he can summon with a finger pop, versus Joe sitting in his basement looking like the guys who on the Saturday night skit were in their basement in Peoria doing it.
Oh, Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, yeah, right. Yeah, Biden would look like Wayne's World if he tried to take on Trump in a serious manner just yet.
Well, I respectfully disagree with you on that one. I wish Biden was coming at Trump harder, but I do believe that the overall point you've been making for a long time is on target, and that is this election is being driven by people's attitudes toward Trump.
Right.
And so the MAGA hat wearers, they love him to death, no matter what he does, no matter what he says. They'll show up outside the Thompson Center waving their Nazi banners and their Nazi slogans, and
exposing themselves to the virus.
yeah, exposing themselves to the virus. And that's their way of showing their allegiance to Donald John Trump. The rest of the party, as we just pointed out, or not the rest of the party, but there's other portions of the party that are in areas like so-called swing districts are a little nervous. And before you came on, we were talking about the leader of the House of Representatives here in Illinois, Jim Durkin, not quite knowing how to confront J.B. Pritzker's stay-at-home speech and parameters. He's very critical of Pritzker, but without getting into substance, because he realizes that the rank and file Monroe of the Republican Party is just got this knee-jerk opposition to Democratic governors trying to protect the interests of the public with their policies. And so he realizes he has to throw sort of, red meat at them, but he can't go too far and say, open up the economy, because there's a lot of people in his district who probably think J.B. Pritzker is doing the right thing.
Yeah. No, most Americans think that it's too early to open up. This is so crazy. I mean, basically, Trump's position as of a day or two ago, and he changes all the time. For example, yesterday, the coronavirus panel was dead, but now it's not anymore. He's going to keep it on indefinitely.
Yeah.
His task force. But literally, they were having the funeral for it yesterday, and then it rose from the dead some kind of way. But anyway, so with this, what he's now doing is because this is a war, remember. So he's saying that patriotic Americans need to come out and expose themselves to the virus and take one for America.
All right, we're ready to play this commercial, "Mourning in America," that aired. I think it was yesterday.
Okay.
There's mourning in America.
Yeah,
Ready?
and they played it on Fox when they knew he'd be watching.
Yeah. All right, so
and it drove him absolutely crazy.
We have the Trump going crazy part, and we have the actual commercial. And let me just start with a little preface. Monroe was the one who alerted me to this. This is a commercial that's put together by, what do they call themselves, Monroe? I just lost it. The Lincoln Committee?
The Lincoln Project.
The Lincoln Project.
The Lincoln Project.
Yeah, and this is a group of Republicans who, for a variety of different reasons, despise Donald John Trump and want him out. I've talked about Sarah Longwell. She's a Republican strategist who's one of the key people in this group. George Conway is in this group, Kellyanne Conway's husband. Rick Wilson, he's probably the most prominent, best known to Democrats anyway. He goes on Democratic TV shows all the time.
He wrote the book, Everything Trump Touches Dies.
Yes, he wrote that book. And this group was really hoping that Bernie Sanders, my beloved Bernie Sanders, would not be the nominee of the Democratic Party, because as much as...
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, because everything that Bernie stands for, they're against. They're basically They are Republicans. They just despise Trump.
Yeah, they're more Republicans than the Trump nuts are.
Yes, in terms of conventional
The Trump nuts are Trump cultists.
Right. There's a distinction. And so... they're already hitting Trump hard with attack ads. So Monroe was talking about the Biden strategy, where you hang out, you lay low, you let Trump destroy himself. We'll give him credit for having a strategy. Republicans don't play that game, Monroe. They play to win. They come at you hard. And so these are Republicans with an anti-Trump ad, Mourning, spelled M-O-U-R. Right, as opposed to Mourning.
Right.
They're taking off on
and
Mourning.
And what they're doing is using Republican tactics against Trump.
Right. So, all right, D, let's play this thing.
There's mourning in America. Today, more than 60,000 Americans have died from a deadly virus Donald Trump ignored. With the economy in shambles, more than 26 million Americans are out of work, the worst economy in decades. Trump bailed out Wall Street, but not Main Street. This afternoon, millions of Americans will apply for unemployment. And with their savings run out, many are giving up hope. Millions worry that a loved one won't survive COVID-19. There's mourning in America. And under the leadership of Donald Trump, our country is weaker and sicker and poorer. And now, Americans are asking, if we have another 4 years like this, will there even be an America?
Paid for by the Lincoln Project, which is responsible for the content of this advertising.
All right, very good, D. All right, Monroe, break it down for us.
Thank you now. Okay, now I'm familiar with the ad, but did you play Trump's reaction?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to Trump's reaction.
Okay. I just wanted to
yeah,
make
we
sure,
got it.
I couldn't hear it.
Yeah. So the ad.
I know the ad. Right.
Trump bailed out Wall Street, not Main Street, and under the leadership of Trump, we're weaker. This is what they say. This is how Republicans play the game. There's none of this, we're afraid that we're going to look too partisan. There's none of this, we don't want to say anything critical because it might offend some swing voter in Wisconsin. None of this, when they go low, we go high nonsense. These are Republicans who play the game to win. And so what do you think of these tactics, Monroe?
Oh, well, I mean, what tells you the proof is in the pudding and how it triggered Trump. He went on a tweet storm after he saw that ad. He said they were losers, and you know, normally he attacked them individually and personally. You know, for example, he referred to Conway as moon face, and he just, you know, I mean, he just went Trump crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, what can we say? I mean, you have some of that. I
no, we're going to play that. We'll get to the Trump thing. But what I'm asking you is, how effective do you think this ad is?
Oh, it's very effective for the down ticket. Well, it drove Trump crazy, which is always good to trigger Trump. But those senators in Maine, in Colorado, in Arizona, who are underwater right now, it presents all sorts of problems for them because they have to respond to that. And, you know, they have been Trump acolytes. And the Democrats, I mean, this isn't even a Democratic ad, political ad. This is a Republican ad. And these guys have street cred among Republicans. This is not any ragtag band of Republicans that are doing this. These are highly respected Republicans, just not of the Trump sort.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very effective. And it's just one of many. They said, okay, we're just beginning. So they're going to be hitting him. So Trump, as we get to, for all your Democratic hand wringers out.
Oh God, there's so many of them.
Yeah, I know. Okay, this is what you need to think about. Mm-hmm. Come the fall, you're going to have Bloomberg hitting Trump from the left with his ads. You're going to have the Lincoln Project people hitting Trump from the right. You're going to have Biden hitting Trump front and center. And you're going to have 135 Americans dead from the COVID-19. And you're going to have unemployment somewhere in the teens or higher. It could even be as high as it was during the Great Depression. So the question is for the hand wringers out there, just who and why are people going to go vote for Trump?
I have felt that way even before the COVID-19, and the hand wringers were telling me that there's no way. It was only about 2 months ago, I want to say 3 months ago, that pretty much everyone I knew was saying Trump was a shoo-in to win, except for you, Monroe.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. We have Donald Trump. This is one of these classic Donald Trump moments where he entertains questions from reporters in front of an airplane. The propellers are making a lot of noise. So
I've seen this. Yeah.
This is Donnie Trump talking about the Mourning in America ad.
Cue the vacuum. Yeah, it's really hard to hear.
Oh, it's the sound is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to hear. He called it the Losers Project.
Yeah.
Could you sum it up of what he said?
Yeah, it's the Losers Project, and then, as Monroe said, he named all the members of the Lincoln Project, or many he could think of. He named them and called them losers, and talked about how they lost to him. It's very personal with Donald Trump,
right?
Because these are the Republicans who never supported Trump, did not fall in line. So it's very personal to him, right, Monroe?
Right. No, they're never Trumpers. They're rhinos. They're losers, and they know how to trigger Trump, and they know how to reach those suburban white women who voted for Trump in 2016.
Mm-hmm. Well, my advice to Joe Biden, which he probably won't listen to, is that he reached to the base of the Democratic Party with his nomination with his selection for a vice president and pick a black woman. I've been urging him to do that for a long time. I believe that's the core of the Democratic Party. And I think that unlike Barack Obama, I alluded to this earlier, who tried to fill a Supreme Court vacancy with a white man, Merrick Garland, and unlike Hillary Clinton, who picked Tim Kaine to be her running mate, I think that Joe Biden should get smart and select a running mate who would appeal to the base of the Democratic Party, so there'd be an enthusiastic outpouring. It's not just be anti-Trump vote; it would be a pro, if such a thing is possible, Joe Biden vote, or a Biden slash. I know that's just unfathomable to think of people coming out to vote for Joe Biden. So that's my recommendation, Monroe, for Joe Biden. What's your response?
Oh, I think it would be a great move, except there's going to be great resistance to that. Joe Biden is 78 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He may live throughout the term, 4-year term. He may not. Even if he does live through it, then he's only going to run that one time. He's already said he's a transitional candidate. So whoever he picks is basically will basically become the president-elect for 2024, because the Republicans are going to be so devastated by all the horrible things Trump has done that it doesn't matter who they nominate as a candidate. That candidate is not going to win in 2024. So basically, whoever he chooses, this is my theory, of course. This is political theory. But my theory is that whoever he chooses as his seat will be the 47th president of the United States.
Mm.
And everyone sort of knows it. No one's talking about it, but everyone sort of knows it. And as you know, they're pushing Elizabeth Warren,
Mm-hmm.
who, if I'd had a magic wand, would have been the candidate this time, not Joe Biden. She would have been the candidate. But the problem is that she is in her 70s, as is Joe. And they're both from the East Coast. And you have to spread it around a little bit. So they need somebody from the West, the South, or the Midwest in that number 2 spot. There's been serious talk of the governor of Michigan,
Whitmer,
who's a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's been talk of Klobuchar as a candidate. And of course, there's Kamala Harris.
Monroe, I just have to tell you, I said this in the air. I was talking to a millennial activist when I mentioned Amy Klobuchar as a possible running mate to Joe Biden. This activist started to cry. So I mean, I don't mean to laugh at this actress, but it's just like so depressing to us Bernie types.
Another possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, another possibility is the black woman from Florida who was a police.
Deming, yeah, I was on her bandwagon. Yeah, she did a good job of overseeing the prosecution of Trump in the Congress. And of course, there's Kamala Harris, which for some reason nobody in this show likes. By the way, you were called out by name by one of our listeners, Bab, who wrote, put it on my Facebook wall that.
Oh yeah, no, Bab and I have, we go back and forth in a friendly sort of way,
Yeah. And he noted that a majority of Democrats want Elizabeth Warren on the ticket, and I want a black woman on the ticket. But Elizabeth Warren is a very compelling choice. But your point is that she may be too old. It would just put a spotlight on how old the Democrats are. Hey, the Republicans, they're not young either.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. And the reality is, if I just back up a little bit and be for real about this, the reality is Trump is his own worst enemy. So we probably could go get Dennis Kucinich and make him the vice president nominee, and the Democrats still would win.
I have a confession to make here, Monroe. I was thinking of supporting Dennis Kucinich in 2008 when he was running again.
Oh, yeah, I like Dennis, too.
I flirted with Kucinich, you might say.
Right. I said any man who marries a woman with a earring in her tongue can't be all bad.
And he was doing that before it was fashionable. All right, Monroe.
Right, exactly. He was ahead of his time.
Now, we'll close with the question that many of my guests don't want me to ask them. Well, not many, I should say, but I've had a few guests who've asked me, don't ask me about Tara Reid, which I find a very interesting attitude to take. What, are you just going to pretend it doesn't exist? But
no, because they have overreacted to the Me Too movement. And we got rid of a very good senator for silly reasons.
Al Franken?
Yeah. Al Franken was a very good, and there was no reason to force him to resign. But it was an overreaction of the Democrats on that. He didn't get a hearing, he didn't get anything. They just ran him out on tires and feathers out of the Senate. And they've overreacted, and they've watched the Republicans just bulldoze their way through with Kavanaugh, with Trump. It's their people. They support them regardless. And the Democrats are learning, but they haven't learned, because if you stop and think about it, neither the governor or deputy vice governor in Virginia resigned
Yeah.
following their scandals. When the party was going, well, he did blackface. He got to go, and I forgot what the lieutenant governor did. But
I believe the lieutenant governor had some sort of sexual harassment accusation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. He had a sexual harassment. And they just both toughed it out, and it's gone. It's over. That's not being discussed anymore. And so, we Democrats have got to stop all the hand wringing and look at the things that are really important and go with that.
All right. Well, I'm not sure I agree with everything you're saying, but I feel there should be standards of behavior that politicians.
There should be standards, but they shouldn't be. Okay. Let's look at Tara Reid. She's changed the story several times on what Biden did or didn't do to her. He came forth and said, "I didn't do it." It wasn't out of this Trump stuff where it was like, well, I didn't do it, and if I did, so what?
Yeah.
Basically, Biden just said he didn't do it. Kavanaugh, the woman who, I've forgotten her name, the woman who
Dr.
testified
Ford.
against Kavanaugh.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Ford. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She went before the Senate under oath and told her story. Tara Reid is not even doing interviews right now where people can question her. So my position on this is yes, if when a woman says something happened to her, you should listen to it, you should look into it, but that doesn't mean automatically that she's not lying. What you should do is look to see if she's lying, but women have lied on men about being sexually aggressive. For various reasons, that happens also.
Well, I have to say this about Tara Reid and her accusations against Joe Biden, and knowing Democrats the way I do, and probably no Democrat will come on the show and say this, so I'll just say it because I'm always the one getting in trouble. Whether Democrats believe Tara Reid or not, they're going to vote for Joe Biden because they can't stand Donald Trump. And so the issue of trying to get Democratic politicians to respect women and to get elected official and powerful people to respect women is one issue. And then the issue of whether Donald Trump should be defeated is another issue. Right. And Democratic voters, I've talked to a lot of them, men, women, black, white, old, young, Monroe.
Right. My 3-year-old grandson wants Trump out.
Okay. Well, and almost every Democrat I talk to, they're like, they don't even want to entertain. There's a lot. Now, I actually know a few Democrats, I should say, a relative handful, who want to seriously entertain Tara Reid's accusations, want Joe Biden to be, they want to do more digging to see if they, for instance, can find that sexual. No, it wasn't even, the assault charge or report that she wrote up, and she didn't even mention, I think it was a sexual assault attack, or she can't remember.
She said she didn't know, she couldn't remember if she put it in the report or not.
Yeah, so
now, if you have been sexually assaulted by somebody in a quarter, on Capitol Hill, where people are moving about all the time, so it's not the best place if you're going to sexually assault somebody. Seems like you can find a more secluded place than that. But if you're going to do it, then she is traumatized about it. She would have put it in the report more than likely. Now, there are these situations where women are so traumatized by it that They just try and block it out. But it's just a weird situation with her. And the important thing to remember is she is just one. There are 24, 25, depending on how you want to count them, women charging that they were sexually assaulted or harassed by Trump.
Yeah.
And he bragged about it on a tape. When he said he's a star, so he could just grab him by the pussy.
Yeah, and but I will say this: this is not a point to relitigate Al Franken. I did not weep when Al Franken stepped down, and that's a whole issue for another time. But I thought
we can discuss that because I think that was a mistake. Yeah,
we got a good senator in Minnesota now. A woman, Tina Smith, is senator. And
oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
so
that's the thing is, the Democratic bench strength is incredible. So yeah, you're right.
So I wasn't weeping for Al Franken. I'll tell you the truth, Monroe, and I don't think he handled that very well. But that's ancient history. Let's not relitigate it. All right, Monroe, we should be heading out, closing down the show. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Mourning in America. Mourning. It looks like the Republicans are going to try to teach those hand-wringing, we go high when they go low Democrats how to play the game. I hope they're paying attention, don't you, Monroe?
Oh, yeah, and for those out there who are listening to your podcast, if they haven't heard the ad, you can Google it, Mourning in America, and see the entire thing. And there will be more.
Yeah.
And yeah, just one quick thing. The Mourning in America is a play off of Reagan's Mourning in America ad.
Right. Right.
Where he was all bright and sunshiny about how great things were going to be under his leadership.
Yep. It's a further way of distinguishing Donald Trump from quote unquote real Republicans. That's what the game is all about. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a play on words.
Okay. All right. So,
all right.
Talk to you soon.
Take care. Stay safe, Monroe. The great Monroe Anderson comes on the show once a week. Sometimes he missed. Last week he took off. But
and there was that one time last year where he went to Hollywood or something like that, right?
Yeah, he was in California. Yeah. One time he called us from a payphone, I think. Remember that?
What year was that podcast on? I'm calling from a payphone. Hello. It's me from 1950. That was a good interview with Monroe there. Maybe there's some people listening out there who are on the fence about riding with Biden, and maybe they're, riding with Biden. Let's go to the live stream chat here. Brent weighed in. Brent says, still not voting for Biden. I guess not. Got a ways to go, I guess, huh?
He's a tough one, all right? We still got to November to win him over. Maybe tough. I don't know. It won't help if they put Amy Klobuchar. I don't think that'll bring Brent. Amy Klobuchar, that ought to bring him over.
Ben, the bad news just keeps coming here. We kind of saw this one coming. We knew it would happen. Last week we talked about how Ravinia is closed down for the season. Holy cow, you should have seen Ben after the show. He was drinking whiskey after the show. When
I
he heard
was
about
drinking
Ravinia.
whiskey, yes.
A lot of it. He was very depressed about it. Ben, get the booze out because I got more bad news here.
What?
Pitchfork Festival has been canceled. I know you were looking at going. I know you and all those hipsters at Logan Square.
No, man.
I know. Pitchfork canceled. Damn.
Wait. Pitchfork's the one in Union Park, right?
Yeah, it's the one that was kind of by the Sun-Times.
Union
right there
Park.
by the
That's
Cobra
what's
Lounge.
called Union Park. There's another one that's in Douglas Park. I forget the name of that one.
Yeah.
Bunch of hipsters get together.
Sorry
for them.
Sorry
man.
for the bad news. You feel sorry for them, but let's be honest. You love Pitchfork, so sorry, Ben.
What's the group that you say I like, but I just can't remember their name? It's like some hipster
Arctic
group.
Monkeys?
Oh, yeah, man. Will the Monkeys be playing here, man?
The Arctic Monkeys? No, they were so 2018.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, I'm really feeling bad about Pitchfork. Listen, man, I'm going to show some love for the Pitchforkians who love Pitchfork. Hey, sorry, guys, man. I know. I feel it because they canceled Geezer Fest at Taste of Chicago. So I know what it's like, okay? Geezer Fest, man. The Isley Brothers, the OJs.
Schedule that Pitchfork this year. Run the Jewels, the National, and Ben, your favorite, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Wait, you made that up.
No, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
The Nationals or the Free Nationals?
Well, it's the National. There's no S at the end. The National.
Okay, I've heard of a group called, I think they're called the Free Nationals.
Oh, yeah, your wife loves the Free Nationals.
Yeah, that's...
And that's not them. This is the National.
Oh, okay.
Pitchfork canceled. Sorry, hipsters.
And what about the alligator? Are they going to bring the alligator back for the hipsters thing that kept them entertained?
In their dreams, they wish they'd get that alligator back.
Oh, God, that was hipster heaven last summer. They love that alligator.
That was good times. Oh, wait, hold on. We have a hipster here to talk about it.
I've seen a whole lot of catfish, some turtles. No gators yet, though.
That guy was going to pitch. He was supposed to go to pitch.
Oh, he's devastated. No Pitchfork.
I've seen a whole lot of catfish, some turtles. No gators yet, though.
But he did see the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, man. All right.
Ben, what's your favorite Yeah 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 song?
I love their cover of Cool Jerk. Cool Jerk, come on people. Cool Jerk, can you dig it? Can you dig it?
I actually like the National. Okay, I think the show's over today.
You're going to play some Nationals, did you say?
No, I said I actually like the National. I like that band. They're pretty good. Buzz,
All right.
Bud Buzz,
Well, here's what I'm
Blood Buzz, Ohio. Great song.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to them tonight and get back to you tomorrow. Maybe it'll be the song of the day. How about that, huh?
No. Okay, by the way, if you're listening on the live stream and you're going to join us tomorrow, get on the live stream early and request a song of the day for Benny J to sing. We did the first one today. Went pretty well.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going. Get to the live stream chat early. Early bird catches the worm. You know what I mean?
Get up early, chop some wood, smoke a joint, and come on and make a recommendation. Great show.
Get on the convoy or whatever Ben says.
And thanks to Monroe, and thanks to the young man from Alton, man, the myth, the legend, without whom this show would not be possible. Back home in Alton, as Monroe Anderson can tell you, they call him White Lightning. Give yourself a raise, take it out of petty cash. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Hey, and everybody, there's more Ben Joravsky Show to come today, all right? You just have to download it, both Chicago Sun-Times and Chicago Reader websites and wherever else. You download your favorite podcast. If you're downloading, you already know that. So I'm going to encourage you to check out the Ben Joravsky Show live. Yeah, that's right. We're on YouTube, Tuesdays through Fridays, 1 until 3 p.m. Central Time on the Chicago Sun-Times YouTube channel. Hear the awkward things that I edit out. It's always fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm not a doctor.
Let's begin with phase one.
That's correct.
I'm not a doctor.